Welcome, deep divers. Today, we're really embarking on a journey into the insights of, well, a truly impactful modern thinker, as someone whose ideas have maybe quietly but really profoundly shaped how a lot of us think about wealth, happiness, and just, navigating life today. We're diving deep into the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Now, if you may be newer to this one, it's important to get that this isn't like a traditional book, not in the usual sense. Think of it more as a curated collection of wisdom, like a masterclass pulled together from years of his interviews, tweets, blog posts. It's basically a modern guide if you're looking to understand wealth, happiness, and practical philosophy for living.
Exactly. And our mission today really is to pull out the most crucial insights from this, unique compilation. We want to give you a genuine shortcut to understanding why this stuff has resonated so deeply with, millions of people. And what makes it so compelling is how it somehow blends, cutting-edge tech thinking with ancient Eastern wisdom and even Stoic philosophy. And it turns all that into advice that's frankly really practical, stuff you can use. We'll kind of uncover how it offers this fresh look at building a life with both abundance and inner peace.
Okay, so let's start with the architect himself. Who is Naval Ravikant? At his core, he's an Indian-American entrepreneur, a very active angel investor, and I think you have to say a profound philosopher-thinker. His impact in tech is just huge. He co-founded AngelList, which totally changed the game for startup funding, right? Connecting entrepreneurs directly with investors.
Oh, absolutely. It sort of democratized early-stage funding.
And beyond that, he was an early investor in some absolute giants. We're talking Twitter, Uber, Notion, Clubhouse. He's had a front row seat and often, a hand in shaping a lot of the innovation we just take for granted now.
But what's really striking about Naval, I think, is how he got so well known. Beyond just the tech money success, he gained this massive following, not through some big PR campaign, but just organically. Through the sheer power and clarity of his ideas, his tweets, these really sharp insights started going viral. Then came those deep dive podcast interviews, especially with guys like Joe Rogan and Tim Ferriss.
Oh yeah, those were huge.
Right, and his blog posts too. He just has this knack for condensing really complex life lessons, philosophy, business strategy into these bite-sized, super resonant nuggets. It's this mix of intellectual rigor, but with this almost poetic simplicity.
That's a great way to put it. And it leads to that point you made earlier. Okay, if he's so profound, why wasn't the book actually written by him? And this is where the uniqueness of the Almanack really shines. It was meticulously put together by Eric Jorgensen. He gathered all Naval's wisdom from, everywhere. Public writings, interviews, tweets, over years.
With Naval's blessing. Importantly.
Exactly. Naval approved it. And it was brilliantly illustrated by Jack Butcher of Visualized Value, which gives it that distinct look, right? Really complements the concise ideas.
It does.
It came out in 2020. It's about 240-ish pages. And famously, you can get it as a paid print book or just download the digital version completely free.
Which is amazing, genre-wise. It's tough to pin down. It's self-help, sure, but also philosophy, definitely wealth building, mindfulness. It crosses boundaries. And that non-traditional forming, not being a linear story, is actually a huge strength. It's curated thoughts, organized into clear chapters.
Like wealth, happiness, health.
Exactly. Decision-making, learning, his overall life philosophy. You can just dip in and out, absorb what you need when you need it.
And the popularity is just undeniable. You mentioned millions. We're talking over 1 million free downloads. That's staggering. And the paid versions, print and Kindle, shot up the Amazon bestseller list.
Yeah.
Not just in one category, but like self-help, business, personal finance, and happiness.
Wow.
Plus, on Goodreads, it consistently holds this super high rating, like 4.4 plus stars, from tens of thousands of readers.
So that begs the question, why? Why is it so popular given its unusual origin and format? Well, it's become this go-to recommendation for entrepreneurs, creators, investors, anyone really interested in building, let's call it modern wealth, permissionless wealth, or maybe even more importantly for people just seeking clarity, some inner peace in this, chaotic digital world we live in. It just offers this fresh perspective. It bridges Silicon Valley intensity with ancient philosophical calm and gives you actionable frameworks that, they just resonate. It's a guide for building success outside and resilience inside.
Okay, let's dive into one of those core themes then. The first big one that really jumps out is this powerful redefinition. Wealth is not about money, it's about freedom. Naval says, and this line really sticks with you, you're not going to get rich renting out your time.
Such a key quote.
It is, and he makes this crucial distinction. Wealth isn't just cash in the bank. It's having assets that earn while you sleep. Think about a business, a product you made, code you wrote, content you published, maybe a personal brand you built up.
Right. These are the things that decouple your income from your time. That's the key, giving you that ultimate luxury, freedom, time. And he really unpacks how to get there, how to achieve that kind of wealth. It's not the old model, hours for dollars. First, and maybe the most fundamental thing, is learning specific knowledge.
Specific knowledge. Okay, what exactly does he mean by that?
It's not just general skills. It's unique stuff that, well, feels like play to you, but looks like really hard work to other people. Maybe it's your knack for combining flavors if you're a chef, or optimizing databases if you're a coder. It's often at that intersection of what you're genuinely curious about and what you're naturally good at.
Oh, okay. So it's hard to copy.
Exactly. Makes it valuable. Second, he stresses building and owning equity in something scalable.
Scalable, like tech, media, code.
Precisely. Things that can reach lots of people without you needing to be there for every single transaction. The initial effort gets replicated basically for free.
Right.
And third, crucially, it's about leverage. He talks about three kinds.
Yeah.
Capital, so money working for you, code, software working for you, and people, having others amplify your vision, because your time alone, no matter how valuable per hour, just won't cut it for building real wealth and freedom. Leverage is the multiplier.
So, okay, bringing this back to the listener, what does this all mean for you? If you feel stuck in that time for money trap, the big takeaway seems to be, don't just chase money, shift your focus. Build something valuable that generates wealth passively.
Yeah, think long-term, think scalable, and importantly, think permissionless.
Permissionless, meaning you don't need someone's approval to start.
Right, like publishing a blog, starting an open source project, creating an online course. You don't need a gatekeeper like a traditional publisher or VC firm to say yes.
You're building your own engine for wealth and for freedom. Okay, let's pivot now to a theme that might seem less, intuitive maybe, in a book often filed under wealth, but Naval emphasizes it just as much. Happiness is a skill you can cultivate. And he drops another one of those quotes that just stops you in your tracks. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want.
Wow. Yeah, that's a powerful one. And it's so counterintuitive for many of us, right? We're sort of trained to believe happiness comes after the success, after we get the thing.
Right, the promotion, the house.
Exactly. But Naval flips it. He argues real happiness doesn't just magically appear when you hit a goal. It actually springs from inner peace, from non-attachment to outcomes, even to your desires.
So, less wanting.
Pretty much. Instead of chasing happiness outside, you cultivate it inside by managing expectations and desires. It's very Stoic, very Buddhist. Suffering comes from unmet desires. And he gives practical tools for this. Things like meditation, practicing presence, real gratitude for what you have, not what you lack, and consciously letting go of desires.
It's like subtraction, not addition.
That's a perfect way to put it. Reduce the mental noise, reduce the wanting, instead of always striving for more.
And the practical ways to apply this, they sound simple, but maybe not easy, like stopping the overthinking loop.
Definitely. Detaching from your ego's constant need for validation or stuff, and just accepting reality as it is instead of constantly fighting it or wishing it were different.
Finding contentment now, not in some future if-only scenario.
Precisely. And what's really key here is how this frames happiness. It's not a destination you finally reach. It's a continuous choice. It's a daily practice.
Like exercising a muscle.
Exactly like that. You're actively reducing desires, slowing down your mind, building that peaceful inner life. It's an inside job. You're basically training your mind for joy.
Okay, another huge area Naval champions. Learn to learn self-education is the ultimate superpower. He has that great line, read what you love until you love to read. Simple, but kind of liberating, isn't it?
It really is, because what he's getting at is that the most important meta skill, the skill above all others, is learning how to learn effectively, on your own. And he contrasts this true learning, driven by pure curiosity, wanting to understand, with traditional schooling.
Which he argues teaches conformity.
Often, yeah. Rote learning, chasing grades, not necessarily deep insight. The real world, especially now, rewards adaptability, continuous learning, independent thought, much more than static credentials.
So his approach encourages you listening, to read constantly, but follow your curiosity, not just assigned reading.
Right, and think deeply about it. Question things, question dogmas, common beliefs. Don't just passively consume info.
Actively process it, challenge it, make it your own. Cultivate intellectual independence.
And this ties into his idea of first principles thinking, breaking problems down to their absolute basic truths.
Questioning every assumption, going back to basics, not just reasoning by analogy, like comparing to what already exists.
Exactly. Like instead of how do we make a better car? It's what are the fundamental physics of moving from A to B? More fundamental.
Got it.
And a huge part of this self-education journey, especially now with information overload, is filtering advice. Everyone's got an opinion, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's always based on their path, their biases. You have to figure out what actually applies to you, your situation, your goals.
So this really lands on an important point for all of us. If you want to be a true lifelong learner, one who thrives in this changing world, you don't necessarily need more degrees. You need clarity, you need curiosity, that real hunger to know, and consistency in learning.
That internal drive, that's the engine, not external validation.
Okay, so beyond these huge themes, the Almanack is just filled with these other brilliant, concise bits of advice, these nuggets of wisdom. Like he talks a lot about playing long-term games with long-term people. What's the core idea there? It sounds like a business strategy, but it feels deeper.
It absolutely is deeper. The so what is huge. Playing long-term games means prioritizing patience and trust. When you interact with people, assuming you'll interact again, incentives align differently. Less transactional, more relational. It fosters real relationships, better collaborations, less zero-sum thinking. You build a reputation, a network that compounds positively over decades, not just days or weeks. It's investing in relationships.
Makes sense. Another gem. The importance of building a personal brand and owning your audience. Why is that so critical now?
Well, think about it. In an age of algorithms changing overnight and attention being so fragmented, owning your audience gives you leverage, real leverage. It means you're not totally dependent on a platform's whims. You have a direct connection.
Like an email list versus just social media followers.
Exactly. That allows you to share your ideas, monetize your skills, build a community without needing permission from some intermediary. It connects right back to that independence, that permissionless creation we talked about.
Right. Okay. And this one feels counterintuitive for busy people. Learning to say no often, he says time is the ultimate luxury. How does saying no actually help?
It's not about being difficult. It's about ruthless prioritization. Saying no to things that don't align with your core values or your highest leverage activities protects your most valuable, absolutely finite resource, your time.
So you can focus.
Intensely. On what truly matters, whether that's building specific knowledge, nurturing key relationships, or just guarding time for inner peace. It's a discipline for effectiveness and for sanity, really. It guards your freedom.
Okay, another one. Avoid zero-sum games where one person wins, another loses, and instead build in win-win ecosystems. How does that work in practice?
It's about fostering abundance, not scarcity. Instead of fighting over a fixed pie, you look for ways to make the pie bigger for everyone. In business, maybe that's creating platforms that empower others, designing products that benefit users and creators.
And personally.
Seeking mutual benefit, not trying to win every interaction. This builds goodwill, creates these positive feedback loops in your network, and leads to more sustainable, more ethical success for everyone involved. It moves away from destructive competition.
And finally, this is a powerful one, escaping competition through authenticity. What does that mean if you're trying to stand out?
This might be the most liberating idea of all. In a world drowning in options, being genuinely you becomes your ultimate edge. Why? Because nobody else can replicate that.
Your unique blend.
Exactly. Your strengths, your quirks, your perspective, your specific knowledge. When you lean into that, you essentially create a category of one. You stop trying to beat others at their game. You start playing your own game.
Which naturally attracts the right people.
People who resonate with your real self. And it leads to work that feels more like play and is just way more sustainable and fulfilling long term. It's about building an identity that can't be copied.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels like the Almanack of Naval Ravikant is way more than just a book, way more than quotes. It really is like a modern manual, maybe a philosophical toolkit for building a life that's meaningful, abundant, and genuinely free in this crazy digital age. It really challenges our basic assumptions about success.
Absolutely. It's this unique, potent mix, isn't it? Cutting-edge tech insights, timeless Eastern wisdom, practical Stoic philosophy, all distilled into really clear, actionable advice. Stuff you can apply right away to your own life, whether you're focused on business or just seeking more, contentment day to day.
So for anyone listening, if you're genuinely interested in understanding what building freedom looks like today, finding real fulfillment, achieving a degree of self-mastery, this material is, well, it's essential reading, isn't it?
It really is.
It offers a completely fresh lens to view everything: your career, your habits, your definition of happiness.
And maybe, as a final thought to leave you with, reflect on this. How much of your current work, your effort, truly leverages capital, code, or other people? And how might shifting that balance, even just a little bit consciously, start to redefine not just your potential for wealth, but ultimately your freedom and your inner peace? Something to chew on.